headed to the top, you can bet that. Catch us. We on deck, we here with another episode of If You Ask Me, feeding our hip hop junkies. I'm your host, Deme D, and this is where we talk about music and movie culture from the late 80s to the mid 20s. And I got some guests here today. I got a new guest. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people.
What's going on? AJ Williams, actor, author, director. I hail from Wash Heights, baby. 181.
Hey, good. Shout out to you.
Good.
Got a usual face over here.
Stroll Mac.
Mr. Everywhere Part 2. So today we're going to just jump right in it. We're going to have a full episode about an artist. We've done this before. We've done Prodigy, Ludacris, and The Game. So we're going to set this off with Redman. So I got two big Redman fans. I'm also a Redman fan, and we're going to just jump right into it. I'm going to let you take the floor. What made Redman in your top 10?
Well, that's a good question. Now, one of the reasons, because I was introduced to him so early, I was a huge DOS Effects fan. So that made me a fan of the Hit Squad in general. And, once I heard, once the joint came out, his first single, Time for Some Action, it was a rap, man. That was one of the hardest songs of 92, period. And once I got What the Album, I loved What the Album. I'm a huge fan of soul samples, which was heavy on there. And the lyricism was definitely up. And he was definitely unique, too. Like, it didn't seem like he was trying to do any particular thing or talk about any particular thing. He was just himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was refreshing, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons. And he stayed, so we're talking about now, that's 92. You're talking about 25 years later. He stayed that way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, he's not tried to chase commercialism. He's not, you know what I'm saying, falling into a gimmicky pattern. And the lyricism has remained up. So he gets the top 10. He gets the top 10 spot. You know?
Shout out to Red, man.
Yeah, Redman,
Never
man.
been
New Jersey,
gimmicky,
New Jerusalem, Brick City, man.
Word up all day.
You know what I'm saying? He represented right.
To me, it's basically everything you said. And like I said, Redman had the skills, the diversity, like on the types of beats that he's rhymed on. Like his sense of humor. I love rappers with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
I love rappers with a sense of humor. Like
his
personality.
Man.
It's like I like rappers that make fun of themselves at times. And Redman had no problem making fun of himself.
So
We talk about fat chicks, his love for fat chicks.
I love fat chicks.
I'm a plus size lover. I'm a plus size lover.
And
Redman used to stay talking about loving the big girls. And then that, and on top of his catalog, like he's had a consistent catalog. Like to me, give or take, there's dope albums, there's fire albums, maybe one not, but for the most part, he had a consistent catalog. Yeah. So when it comes right down to it, he's the whole package to me. I love Redman.
And another thing, and to add to the point, he never got, I don't remember him ever getting dusted on the track. That's another thing. Like, it's risky to feature
I guess one time doesn't really matter. But
which time was that?
Cannabis smoke.
Oh.
But that's not even fit.
Yeah.
No, not even that one. Because I don't think I smoked on that Lost Boys song.
Oh, okay.
Beats from the East. But it's one time. But cannabis just at that point he was just.
He was hungry to come out too. So
that's only one time.
I heard a rumor he smoked all of who, yo.
I
heard that rumor where he smoked all of who like
that's crazy.
But back to your point as far as with the personality, and you never got the vibe that he was a sucker.
Yeah.
So it's no problem making fun of yourself or not taking yourself too seriously as long as you still carry yourself a certain way.
Dude, talk about packing guns, really PPP. You
Nah.
can't call him a sucker, but he can make fun of himself.
You never at 1 second thought Red was a sucker.
Never.
So you touched on this already. So I'm gonna ask you, what was the first project you heard? You said What the Album. That was part of the reason why you became a fan.
Definitely.
First album I heard was the Business as Usual album. When I heard him on Hardcore and on Brothers on My Job,
that was it.
It was crazy. To the point where when I heard that, I actually was going to, there was a record store, I think like on 19th Street, can't remember. And I was up in there like, yo, you have the Redman album. The Redman come out. It was like, Redman, we don't know who that is. I was in there like, yo, he's on the EPMD album. He got to be coming out.
I remember those days,
I didn't know who it is. He didn't know who it is. But I was looking for his album way before it came out. And then you remember the jukebox when they had the promo for him before the album where he was wearing the North Face and it looked mad hot outside.
when he had the hat all the way up.
He had the North Face. He was doing the Brothers on My Job. Oh no, I think it was Hardcore. It was like just a 30-second joint. You look mad hot. He got North Face and sweats on in the summertime. I was like,
that's some Brick City shit.
Yeah, that was definitely. From there, I was waiting for his album to come out, and when it came out, I was like, this shit's crazy. It's crazy. But I was looking for him like a couple of years before he came out off of those 2 tracks alone.
And one more time, what was the first track you said?
The Hardcore and Brothers on My Jock. That was on EPMD's Business as Usual.
Yeah, those was the days where features could take you to make or break you.
Them features is crazy.
Features can make
Those
or
are a
break
big
you.
deal.
Yeah, those were
Brothers
big deal
on My-
right
I
there.
got it going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are a big deal, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, from them 2 songs alone, I was looking for him.
That happens often too. I'm not gonna lie though. I heard his stuff, but the first actual project I heard was "There's a Dark Side."
Okay.
So yeah, but I was already digging them from them. But yeah, "There's a Dark Side" was probably the first joint I heard. Yeah, that was a dope joint.
Yeah, that was right after second album. Man.
So we touched on it. Do you think he gets the props he deserves? Like from because I feel like lyrically he gets his props, but in its entirety, overall.
Nah, I don't think so. I very rarely hear his name in the top 10 conversations. Never top 5 conversations. He's not top 5 for me, but he's top 10. And I mean, he's been out, like I said, it's been over 25 years.
That's the time.
He never remember nobody smoking him battle wise or on a song wise. Never no sucker shit happening to him. So as far as all around, he should be revered. But I guess it's just a question of the time that we in. Do people really, and I'm sure you have this conversation a lot, but do people really value lyricism over the personalities? He hasn't made himself a star. And it's been about stars for the last 15 years or so. You know what I'm saying? So in the person's mind that's under 30, who is he? You understand what I'm saying? And I think that's the reason why you don't hear it. You know what I mean? You ask anybody over 30 is going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But below 30, it's about stars. People from 2000 on, if you weren't a star, you wasn't a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
because it's like, if you're not doing more than just, I mean, but he's
because
done.
even when you talk to people, they
He's
say
done
he ain't moving
because,
no
like I
units,
said, but see,
he
but
ain't
the
making
thing
no
is-
money. You know what I'm saying, right?
Like what you're saying, in regards to what you're saying, that goes for everybody though. Because I think he gets his props depending on who you ask. If you ask the purists, like I said, the people over 30 who got to experience all these different catalogs by Redman and like Chris and Rakim and and then the newer like Biggie and Jay, so they can compare all of that. People under 30, they don't really know. None of those artists will be in their top 5 or top 10. None of those artists. So it's not even
But
just
you don't
Redman.
they don't have to be in your,
Right.
it's like
Jade will be there because Jade is still out and he's still on hot songs. Like
But he's
popular
still
artist. And they'll put him in their top 10 because of the fact that he's still out and he's on popular featured songs. And that's what a lot of people's going by. So I do think Redman is revered, no different than a lot of the legends.
nah, I don't think he's like getting the legend treatment. Because they
he's
won't
not a
dare.
legend.
Because look, they won't have Rakim in their top 5, but they'll think twice before not. They'll be like, oh, the under 30 crowd, whoever is not a purist, they'll be like, well, I don't really rock with him like that. They're not gonna say he's whack, or they won't just dismiss him. They'll dismiss Red.
But
And he seems to be getting dismissed.
The difference is because everybody puts Rakim up there. Like when it
That's
comes to
my
that,
point.
but-
He's at that
but-
level where you wouldn't not
Like-
give him that props.
And Rakim doesn't even have the catalog that Redman does.
Oh,
I don't think.
you going in there?
Hold on,
No. Rakim has a classics under his belt.
You
But
say
who
he doesn't
has
have the?
his-
I don't even
his-
want to have
he-
that debate.
He doesn't. I don't think when you look at it, I don't think Rakim has the amount of albums, good albums, quality albums as Redman does. But Rakim will always get the notch above Redman.
This is
Always.
what, so how did
But I
get
get
to
to
that
also
level?
where you
She
are.
rap.
Like I'm 37, right? So when Rakim was putting in work, I was a little kid. I wasn't going to the store. You
Right,
talking about
yeah,
86,
yeah,
87.
that shit
I
was
wasn't going to
on.
the store.
Yeah.
My father was playing it, but I wasn't going to the store and getting the Rakim album.
Right.
When Redman's album came out, I was 10. So, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
So
little
if you got
different.
your ear on the radio a little bit, you can't go and buy a tape,
Your
but you might
friends
be
is
able to
listening
borrow
to
it from
it.
your cousin. So it's gonna affect you where you are in time too. Because like
Absolutely.
all of the people that I put on my top 10 are 90s people. Even though I revere
Makes
the
sense.
80s people,
Yeah.
but I wasn't buying their albums though.
But you
I-
still
I-
give them their props.
Right, I wasn't
That's
buying a
what I'm saying.
Kane album, but he's an all-time great. I wasn't buying a Rakim album, but he's an all-time
Kane
great.
Russell,
My
yeah.
greats are 90s dudes, early
Absolutely.
90s dudes, because I was a teen early 90s. So
Absolutely.
that's another thing that's a factor
We're gonna
too.
close it out there though. First segment, let us know what was your favorite Redman project. Do you think he gets the props he deserves, and is he in your top 10? If you ask me. Word, that was.